Save the Semantics, episode 136. It is January 31st, 2021. My name is Myro. This is the podcast where I ramble on for however long I want, but usually less than an hour, because at a certain point I just kind of run out of shit to talk about, and I also run out of steam, so 20, 30 minutes worth of just me blabbering on about things, shit, whatever. And that's it. That's all it is. And I'm going to keep doing this for as long as I feel like. And I'm not really here for any sponsorships, but I am available, if you know what I mean. If anybody wants to give me some shit for, to send some people your way, then sure. Is that going to happen realistically? No, but, that's not really why I made this in the first place and why I keep doing it anyway, so. It is what it is. It's been a couple weeks since I last recorded, I think, more or less. It's been kind of weird and kind of stressful in some ways. I don't know how to really describe it. It's been a lot of like ups and downs in terms of like just things in general. We had some power outages like kind of like back to back last week, so that was pretty stressful, and that took up a lot of my just headspace, if you will. So it was kind of hard to really concentrate on anything. I'm like, this week it was supposed to. Was it this week? I think it was this. Yeah, it was this week. It's just this. It's just been so like, I don't know. These last like, this period of time has been so like nebulous. Like I've just kind of lost track of shit. But yeah, it was like the beginning of this week. It was super stormy, and so I was like anticipating like the power was gonna go out, and I was gonna lose out on work again because that happened before earlier, and that was really shitty. Luckily, it didn't happen, so I was pretty happy about that I didn't have to like fucking. I was like planning on like relocating to like somewhere else. I was thinking of like renting out a cubicle for myself to work at to ensure that like I have internet so I can work, like I can actually work, but luckily it didn't happen. I didn't have to do all that shit, but man, it's just it's a lot. It just takes energy out of you. So I was just kind of stressing over that at the beginning of the week. Again, very fortunate that it didn't happen, but yeah, it's just been like stormy weather. Right now it's kind of cloudy, and it's gonna, it's the expectation of rain in the next couple of days. So, hopefully nothing too crazy. I don't think it's gonna be as bad as what it was anticipated to be this past week. So, fingers crossed. But outside of that, I've just been kind of keeping up with shit. There's been just kind of a lot to take into consideration. I don't even know what that means. I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I think that I'm sort of like, I mean, I'm usually like thinking ahead about things, but I'm sort of like trying to plan out what my next sort of step is going to be after, this period of time. Now that I've sort of kind of have gotten used to working full time and everything like that. I think eventually once, or whenever my job, I don't even know, requires me to be in person, no longer remote, then I have to kind of like figure out like what the best option would be. I'm happy that I have that option, of course. Like, I'm happy that I have, the ability to kind of like decide whether I want to work remote or not, or if there's like a hybrid of sorts. But that's just something that I've been thinking about. Um, I mean, obviously there are still a lot of there's still a lot of things that are kind of murky, kind of gray right now in terms of like vaccinations and that sort of thing. But there are a lot of positive news too. I think it's the what is it? Not the frequency, but the amount of vaccinations that have been administered has been, hopeful. It looks like, I don't know the exact numbers, but somewhere in the millions. So that's definitely something to look forward to. I have no idea, like what the like Gavin Newsom said about like opening up places. I don't know. Like it's so. I didn't look at his exact statement, but just like seeing that headline in itself is just kind of like, okay, sure, but like, like maybe you should. I don't know. I should have probably read the statement before making my own, creating my own opinion on it. But like, I feel like you should at least give some disclaimer, like, hey, shit's open, but like, just keep doing the same thing that you have been doing, right? Like that's sort of. Hopefully, he made some kind of statement like that because, like, I feel like just like everything leading up to this point, like, isn't that kind of premature to kind of make such a bold sort of sweeping motion, just making everything available? Like, I just like considering like how like vulnerable places like Los Angeles are now. Like, I feel like doing something like that would be, I don't know. Again, it's just kind of premature, but I don't know. I really don't know. Like, it's just the numbers are still pretty high right now in terms of cases and whatnot. So I'm still kind of just doing the same thing. I would love to just kind of go out and do shit. But I'm not going to. I'm not gonna fucking do that. It's gonna be a while before I do something like that. So I'm just taking all the necessary precautions. I'm doing the same shit, man. I've been doing the same shit for like last year now. So I mean, it's worked. Like I haven't been sick, which is good. I haven't been sick like. I might like hex myself. I might jinx it by saying that I haven't been sick in a while. And it's true, I haven't. I feel like I've been pretty healthy for the most part, but shit gets kind of fucked up sometimes. I don't know why, but I bought a medium like drink from Jamba Juice. This shit's a lot, man. This shit's a lot to suck down for a period or so. Yeah, I've just I forgot what I was talking about. What did I say? I was getting back into anime and shit. A little bit. I've been watching the well, I guess I'll start off by saying that I finished off Code Geass, and that's a what a good ass ending, man. Like I just feel I just wanted to say like I didn't really like expect the ending to be as like satisfying as it was, because like when it was getting towards like the last few episodes, I was like, how are they like? I have like no idea like how they're gonna conclude this like in sort of like a satisfying manner, because I felt like there were so many loose ends, but they managed to do it. And I was impressed. Like I thought that was like really well done. There's just so much devastation and so much just like there's a lot of death in that show, but in a weird way it ended like on a very positive note. That's not really like hopefully that's not too much of a spoiler. It kind of is a little bit, I guess. So I apologize if you haven't watched the show, but I felt like they did a really good job of concluding it. So I'm happy about that. That's like a good like I think that the way, like, it's hard. And I've mentioned this before. Like, one of the issues that I have with the show is like some of the pacing is kind of weird. Like, I feel like some episodes kind of like they're really cut from like one shit to the next like really quickly, if you know what I mean. Like they go from one plot point to the next like in such a like a rapid manner that sometimes you're like, wait, what the fuck just happened? Like if you look, if you look away from the screen for like, a second, you'll miss like an entire plot point. So it's like sometimes it's like I understand that because I'm guessing the source material just had a lot. It just covered a lot, so they're trying to really just fit in everything. So I understand that, but that's kind of my main complaint with it. But outside of that, I feel like it's a very tightly knit show. Um, and I think they landed that ending. I feel like so. Props to the creators. I think it came out 2007, right? Same year as like Death Note. So, yeah, I'd be happy to maybe rewatch it sometime, but you know, good stuff. Good stuff. I also started watching the second season of ReZero. I've been meaning to getting around to watching that. I just haven't had the motivation or whatever. I just haven't had the full interest, but second season it's pretty good. I think I kind of agree with what some people have said that some of the story beats are kind of not fully realized. Some of the character motivations are not super clear. Maybe because we don't exactly, maybe they'll really reveal it later on in the story. But I think maybe they just cut out some of those story elements from the light novels, which I think is a little detrimental. I think it probably would have helped to have some elements of that in the story. I feel like they could have squeezed, some of those character motivations in. Like there are some scenes. I think this is one of my criticisms of ReZero is that some scenes just kind of drag a little bit. Like I kind of get the point. You know what I mean? Like if you watch the show, I think you kind of understand what I mean by that. It's just that some conversations between characters drag a little bit, and you could fill some of that time with other things, like giving a little more backstory to characters or providing a little more context to some of their actions. Again, like I don't know if they're gonna, provide more story later on and more reason for why these characters are acting in these ways, but just kind of doing that might flesh out you know the story and everything out a little bit more. But other than that, I've had sort of like the same amount of enjoyment that I had watching that first season. I think the first season there was more of a shock value. Once you got to like I think it was like episode 15, that was like the most like, what the fuck, this show is fucked up, kind of thing. I think, season 1 definitely had more of that going for it, since, this is the first time you're watching it, so maybe you're a little desensitized to kind of the things they throw at you, but I still think it's pretty well done. It's interesting. Many of the characters are very interesting. I'm excited to kind of see where the story kind of takes. Like at the point, I think we're on episode. I'm watching it like while it's kind of being released, which is cool. I don't really have that. I don't usually get that opportunity with like an anime or any show really. So it's cool that I kind of have that. It's like a weekly thing, in a sense. Where we're at in the show at the moment, we're getting some backstory on like Amelia and that sort of thing, which is kind of cool. Because like for the majority of the story, we've very much focused on Subaru, and it's just his unfortunate circumstance. But it's cool that we kind of get that. Also, we did get some backstory on Subaru as well, which is nice. Kind of getting his um, his upbringing and his childhood and whatnot. So that's kind of been cool as well. So I've been enjoying that. I what else have I been doing? I did mention last time that I started to play Ni No Kuni, and like I've gotten to the point where it's like the what's the term? There's like a definite like jump in fucking difficulty for sure. Like I was trying to kind of play it in sort of like a way that like I think I need to grind for experience, which I don't really enjoy. That's kind of at the point I made it to the story, which kind of sucks. Like I think I mentioned before how the game sort of works. It's like Pokemon. You gather up these monsters. You can fight as your own, like the main character, whose name is Oliver. You can fight as him. He has like magic powers and stuff. But if you play as the monsters that you recruit, they also have their own powers. Pretty straightforward and standard. But the issue is that whenever you try to recruit a new monster, like they're so like low level that they're basically useless. So in order for them to become like, I don't know, to like contribute to shit, like you have to grind for experience, and I've never been a fan of that when it comes to like JRPGs. Even like Dragon Quest. I love Dragon Quest. I do. It's one of my favorite games. And that's kind of why I love Dragon Quest 11 so much, is that you really don't need to grind that much. Like once in a while you'll have to kind of put in some work in order to fight a boss, but for the most part it's pretty you know is it as the story progresses, you also kind of get better and stuff. So I don't know if I've talked about or if I've mentioned this, but I did want to play like a harder mode for Dragon Quest, but that requires so much grinding. I'm like, I don't know if I would actually enjoy. I've just been thinking about it, like if I would actually enjoy playing the game. It's like, is it fun to kind of grind for shit? Like, I don't know. But yeah, I've sort of reached a point in Ni No Kuni that I've sort of tapered off with it. I mean, I think I will get back into it. I just like I want to try to play with different, not different characters, but different party members. It's just that it kind of makes it difficult to do that when they're so low leveled and they have like basically no like skills, or their stats are so low that they don't stand a chance in like battle. So you have to kind of use the default monsters that you're kind of given, which are essentially like the strongest ones. So I can't really. It's hard to like experiment with the game and kind of have fun with it when you're kind of limited in terms of like ability to use in battle if they're so weak. Like, and then it just kind of takes away from the fun of it. So yeah, I don't know. I think. I'm going to continue in the game. It's just kind of, it's a little disappointing that I can't, like, use the monsters that I've acquired. Because some of them are kind of cool. Like, some of them are, like, and, like, I like the cute designs and stuff. And I want them to, like, actually work in battle and stuff. So, I don't know. And outside of that, not a whole lot. Not really a whole lot. I've sort of taken... I can't even say I've taken a break from studying, but I've sort of eased up on the amount of studying that I've been doing outside of like work. Just because I'm heading into a period of where I'm gonna get super busy and stuff. So I'm taking a little bit of a break from that, which is kind of nice. I'm still gonna be studying, but it's just not as intensely. So like usually every day I'll put in like maybe a couple hours worth of studying, which is not a ton, but it's still like enough to like progress me forward in a sense, right? So I'm sort of taking it easy right now. I still have, those responsibilities to take into consideration, but for now it's sort of like a lull period. Um, but, like I said, shit happens and it's not so chill. Um, like with how stormy it's been and whatnot. So, you know, it is what it is. And I think we're gonna call it a little shorter than the last few times, but we'll keep it at that. This has been Save the Semantics, signing off.